Work on the Novexcomm PwrPanel monitor continues apace. So I designed and 3D printed a little bracket that holds the display's inset against the inside of a rack mount panel, and then has, if I grab this and rotate it, it has standoffs for an Arduino Mega, and then also an Adafruit PermaProto board, which I'll talk more about here in a second. There were a couple of different iterations. This was the first one that I printed, and you can see this one didn't have the PermaProto. But the final product looks like this, and I've actually gone ahead and mounted it in the panel. And I may actually make a nice little bezel that goes on the outside to kind of cover up the edges there and make it look a little bit more finished. If I turned it around, you can see how everything's mounted. The PermaProto board here, in addition to solving a problem with not enough 5-volt pins on the Arduino, so I've created an entire 5-volt rail here and a VCC rail here. It also has a 3 mega ohm voltage divider. So there's 2 mega ohms here, a standoff pin where I can take a signal, and then 1 mega ohm back to ground, so that I can convert the 15-volt maximum voltage from the battery into the 5-volt scale that the Arduino's analog to digital converter can read, so that I can display battery voltage without having the power panel turned on. Right now, obviously, this screw hardware is kind of all over the place, and I'm waiting for some new screws to come in. I need 2mm screws. If you look in this first discarded print, you can see there's some 2mm threaded holes that can be used to secure the 2 displays in there. And then the need for the extra 5 volts came out because when I was doing the mock-up, I had the LCD display running off the VIN line on the Arduino, and that's fine when you're powering the Arduino with 5 volts, but when you power the Arduino with 15 volts, you let the magic smoke out of your backpack LCD or LED controller. So there will be a new LED controller in my future as well. Anyway, let's look at the front again. It's held on with 4mm socket head cap screws, and then this was just a 1U blank panel from Amazon, and I 3D printed a little cutting template here that I then taped inside and measured it so it was centered horizontally and cut it out. So that actually worked out really well. I would have done this in paper, but Autodesk Fusion 360 has decided to paywall the ability to print drawings to scale on US paper. So it only allows you to do a drawing on A4 paper, and when I print that on my printer, it gets scaled to the wrong dimensions and it's not right. And everyone online says, oh, we'll just export it to a PDF. Well, you can't export it to a PDF unless you pay them money. So let's take a look at what this will look like in the Go box. So if we go down here, you can see, there it is. Got the radio and the Go box, and a little display will just sit on top of everything, and it should work out really well. I'm going to end up powering the Arduino directly from the battery. As I mentioned, when I let the magic smoke out of the display, that seems to work fine. I checked the specs, and the Arduino's power supply is supposed to be good for 20 volts maximum, so I'm well within that. The display just was not at all happy about it.